Hi, everyone. I had some questions from students for this sections 2.7 homework. So I wanted to just go over the questions, the problems with you because the way my math lab asks it and how you enter the answers in can be confusing. So here's 2.7 homework. This is number 9, and it asks, or it's giving us the function f of x equals x to the third plus 7 is 1 to 1. That means it has an inverse function. So for part A, let's find the inverse function, f inverse of x, and then we can do part B. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go over to an empty page here. So I've already pasted the problem here. And so if we do this, I had shown you in the Edpuzzle video, there are steps to go through to find the inverse function. First is to rewrite f of x equals x to the third power plus 7 as y equals x to the third plus 7. And then you're going to switch the x and the y's and write x equals y to the third plus 7. And then we solve for y. And here in this case, we can subtract the 7 to cancel that 7 and get x minus 7 equals y to the third. And then we take the third power away by taking the cubic root of both sides. Okay, so that cancels the third power, and we have y is equal to the cubic root of x minus 7. Then the last step was to call this the inverse function. F inverse of x is the cubic root of x minus 7. Okay, now I'm going to go back to my homework page and enter that in. Okay, so here, this does not have the an excluded value because cubic functions, the domain is for all x. So you're going to type in, okay, we have the cubic function of x minus 7. I checked my answer. And then it's going to give you this part. And this part may have been confusing, but basically telling you to plug in your inverse function in the original. So in this here, in this spot, right, we're going to type in the inverse function that we just solved for, which was the cubic root of x minus 7. And then because they're inverse function, if you plug the inverse function back into the original f of x, you're going to get x, right? That's what inverse functions do. In this, the second part, if you do it the reverse, if you plug the original function, which was given as x to the third plus 7 up here, and I plug it in for f, x to the third plus 7. If we, right, because they're inverse functions, we know we're going to get x back. Okay, so that's all you need to do for that one. So that's number 9. Let's look at number 10. Oh, forgot to say that this equation is verified. Okay, so number 10, we have 7x, f of x equals 7x plus 3 over x minus 2. We're going to do the same thing. So here's the problem. And we take f of x and write y equals 7x plus 3 over x minus 2. Then we're going to solve or switch x and the y, so we rewrite it as x equals 7y plus 3, y minus 2. And because y, we want to solve for y, and y minus 2 is in the denominator, let's multiply both sides by y minus 2, and that helps it come out of the denominator. The y minus 2, y minus 2 cancels out. And then we have x, y minus 2 equals 7y plus 3. At this point, we can distribute the x and get xy minus 2x equals 7y plus 3. And because I want to solve for y, I want to subtract this 7y so that we can get all the y's on one side. And I'm going to add this 2x so that I have it on the other side. Okay, so the 7y canceled on the right, the 2x's canceled on the left. So we have xy minus 7y equals 3 plus 2x. And then because you have y, xy, and 7y, I'm going to factor that out. That will help us get y singled out. So we have y parentheses x minus 7 equals 3 plus 2x. Then finally, we can divide both sides by x minus 7. And that is going to be our inverse function. Y equals 3 plus 2x over x minus 7. And I'm just going to call that the inverse function of f 3 plus 2x over x minus 7. This time you have a denominator, so we're going to have excluded values. And remember, with excluded values, there are restrictions that those are numbers that make the denominator equal 0. In this case, we know that 7 minus 7 will give us 0. So the excluded value is going to be 7. So we go back to the homework problem. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to do selection B and type in 3 plus 2x, and then x minus 7. And then our excluded value is x can't equal 7. And again, it's going to ask for part B, and here we're going to type in the inverse function that we just found, 3 plus 2x over x minus 7, and that's going to equal x. And then here we type in the original function that's given, which is f of x is equal to 7x plus 3, x minus 2. Since we already know their inverse functions, that's going to equal x. And then because they're both equal to x, the equation is verified. Okay, so I hope that's helpful. If you have any questions, you can always use the Help Me Solve This View an Example feature, or the textbook, or Ask My Instructor, which just sends me the problem that you're working on. Okay, feel free to reach out with any questions.